Good morning and welcome to my podcast. I'm Bob Pace and I'm happy that you joined me in How to Fight CPS and Keep Your Children. This is a live podcast from Southern California and I look forward to talking to you all. And there's several ways we can participate in this podcast. You found me on Facebook, Fight CPS, and I'm broadcast on YouTube using the StreamYard application. And there are several ways uh, to interact with this podcast. The first one is to call in to my uh, call in number. My office number is 626 698 0990. And that is, you can talk to me live. I'll put you on speakerphone and you'll be live on the show. And you can interact with the guests, they can interact with you. Um, now, that number, oops, oh brother, I don't know why this page suddenly blows up. Anyway, um, hmm, well, shoot. Hold on a second. There we go. I think that's it. I'm having trouble with my computer this morning. I need my show producer to talk to me after the show. Because somehow, oh, hmm. Okay, what's happened is that my screen has become larger and I need to make it smaller. I don't know why it's doing that. Um, I hit escape. Excuse me while I do the technicality here. I need to put something else up. Okay. And then, I think we have some people in the room. Teresa Crow. You have some major questions. All right. Welcome, Teresa Crow. The number again. Okay. Hi, Faye. Hope you're having a blessed day today. Hello, Teresa Crow. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Um, I don't know what city or state you're from. What city or state you're from, Teresa?
California.
You-
Houston, California.
What part of California?
Riverside.
Riverside. Okay, welcome to have you to the show. And it sounds like you're probably really stressed about something.
Yes.
Go ahead and start from the beginning there. I was just going over the how you can participate in this podcast, and I said one would call my number, which you did, which is great. And so start from the beginning about your case, and we'll try to help you as best as we can.
Okay, well, my, my grandchildren were adopted out sometime, and they were never I was never notified after my daughter passed away. So they continue to stay in the adopted home, and I get contact with my grandchildren, and as they get older, some things have happened with my granddaughters, and we're going through it right now. So one of my granddaughters got older, and she came out to live with me, there was an episode she had where it was kind of devastating for me, and that's where I began to ask her why she tried to, hurt herself, and she didn't want to really talk about it. And then we began later to let her just rest, and then as time came, I told her,
Okay,
I don't
can
really
we
want
do
this to
something,
happen again, and we
Teresa?
go to the room
I think you're
of
calling about
what's
your.
happening.
Okay, one moment, Teresa. You're calling about your granddaughter. You're not the mother that has been taken by CPS. You're the grandmother of a daughter who has children, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, can you start at the beginning of how that happened? Like, how many children does it involve? How many fathers does it involve? What were the allegations about your daughter, the children being taken from your daughter?
Well, she was, him and her husband were convicted for, a paraphernalia, drug use that
Okay.
they have found in the house.
So she was taking drugs, and the paraphernalia was out there with the drugs, and the kids got a hold of it.
No, they didn't get a hold of it. It just was found in the house by the police officer.
Right, they did. And how did the police officer get in your home? How did they get in your home?
Well, my daughter had an episode. She was out there kind of like chasing her husband. They got into an argument.
So there's domestic violence going on, and so it was called, and it started off as domestic violence. Because there's children involved, I imagine CPS was called, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, with the domestic violence, who did they find that was the one exhibiting domestic violence? Who was the one that?
Actually, it was.
Okay. Was it the?
Actually, it was
Was it your daughter or her husband?
her husband.
Okay. So, did you get a restraining order?
Well, both of them had gone through this before, so they just decided that they're going to keep the kids only two because they found that paraphernalia, whatever they smoked their stuff on, which they took that. So she was pregnant at the time, but they find drugs in her. They just, because she was with him, and decided, well, she wasn't going to leave him either, so they wanted to kind of work it out, which they went to go through their classes. He didn't finish, she did, but she continued to want to still be with him, so they didn't really give her the children back at that time because they wanted him to finish the classes too.
Yeah. Question. The social workers, now, they were allowed in the house? I mean, was there a warrant, or, I mean, was there a crime in progress? Were they fighting? Was your husband,
Yeah, they were fighting and
okay,
they
all
were
right.
in the house by
When that is
themselves.
going on, police have every right to enter the home. If they weren't fighting, they don't have a right to enter home unless they have a warrant. So, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that at that time. And, it's been a while, but the kids were taken and they were never given back to the family. And after my daughter passed away, she died. And after she passed away, they never notified other family members or me. And it was a pretty big case because there was different fathers involved for the children. But I was like maternal, which means grandmother to all the children, which the judge wanted the children with me. But at that time, I had to go to the state to fight them because I had gotten in a little trouble myself. So in 5 years, they were supposed to give me my grandchildren back, but that didn't happen. And they stayed in that foster care where they adopted them without no consent at all.
Well, here's the problem, if I'm understanding it. How many fathers are involved with the children?
Well, we got 1, 2, 3 fathers.
Okay, now was she married to all three or just one of them?
I'm sorry, wait.
4 fathers. Was your daughter married to all 4 of them?
No, 3 fathers.
Was she married to all 3 of them? Was she married to all 3 of them?
Yeah, 3 fathers.
I know, but was she married to all 3?
No, just to 1.
Okay, she was married to 1, and the other 2 Were they for her later children or earlier children?
Older children, yeah, later children.
Okay, so she had some relationships early on and had two children by two different fathers. Now, those two different fathers, did they want to be any part of their children's lives?
Well, one father passed away, and then the other one went to Mexico, and they tried to find him, never found him again. And the other one didn't want to get his life together.
Okay, one moment for a second here. I want to say hello to Michael Charles from Sacramento, California, and I want to say hello to Joanne Blomqvist from Sweden. We're getting calls from other countries, which I think is great. We've had calls from Australia and United Kingdom, Ghana and South Africa, Mexico. We've had Mozambique from Africa, and then we've had Denmark from Europe, and we've had Liberia from the west coast of Africa, and then we had Rwanda from East Africa, and now we have Joanne Blomqvist from Sweden. And I want to welcome you all. This room is open to anybody with a CPS case, whether you're from the United States or there. Please, when you text in the comment, try texting complete and state your case. So it's like ping pong ball going back and forth, trying to guess what is happening. Right now on the phone, we have a grandmother who has a daughter who had 4 children and 4 separate fathers. This is Teresa Crow from Riverside, California. And her daughter, now you said, did your daughter pass away?
Yes.
I am so sorry you
Yes.
lost your daughter. Now, what did your daughter die of?
She was killed in Riverside and Bruno Valley. She was hit by multiple vehicles.
Oh my God, was she driving or?
No, it was. I believe he was. I don't know. That was a whole different situation.
Okay, well, I'm sorry for your loss there.
Traumatic.
Now, if I'm mistaken, is that the CPS workers in Riverside, did you talk to them about being custody of your grandchildren? Did you talk to them about that?
Oh yeah, they knew. They knew because there were so many grandmothers fighting, and they knew they were supposed to give me an opportunity to get all my grandchildren back. You know, they did it.
Now you say there's a lot of grandmothers fighting, but there was only one father that was married, right? There was only one father that's married, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how could all the grandmothers be fighting over? Okay, there was a legal relationship between a man and woman. They had one child, and then she had 3 other children by 3 other fathers, correct?
Right.
Okay, and do these other fathers, they're not married, do they want anything to do with the child?
Right.
Do they want anything to do with the child?
One passed away at 29, and the other one, they couldn't find in Mexico, and then the other one didn't want to get his life together. He still doesn't.
Okay, all right. Okay. So where is the case now? I mean, where are the 4 children living? Who are they living with?
Well, that's the case. They're living with their foster parents now.
Why are they with their foster parent instead of with next of kin? Why were they not with the next of kin?
Right. Thank you. I don't know. That's the problem.
Well, that's what you have to do now. Do you have a do you have an attorney, Teresa?
No, but we're seeking to get one.
Yeah, that is my rule number 1, that you always have to have an attorney. There's no question about that you need to have an attorney. So I'm really.
I think what I'm hoping is one of the other family members got an attorney, and we're supposed to come together with that attorney. And they're just waiting for this case to open up again because of the allegations that are happening now with my granddaughters that ended with that foster home. And there's a lot of allegations, and so attending, but the CPS know about this for many years, that there was activity going on in that house, and they did nothing, and now we're here. And they don't still do nothing. That's when we're going to press it even harder.
Yeah, well, the trouble with CPS is they're very corrupt. Now, what I mean by corrupt is that they don't care. They don't care about families. They don't care about reunification. They're in there for the money. It's an $80 billion business that they make per year off the kids that they traffic and kidnap and alienate from their parents. They're very corrupt. And if I have some examples, I always start off with the show. One is about the Pink Ladies. Now, the Pink Ladies are social workers in Prescott, Arizona. And they thought it was really cute if they'd make pink T-shirts and stencil on the front, professional child kidnappers. And on the back, they put, where your kids are at. And then they proceeded to parade around Walmart and all the other stores. And it was sad because what that was sending a message to the parents and to everybody there that they were bad social workers. They didn't care. They were caught. They were fired. It wiped out the whole CPS situation. But the director was fired and so forth. So what I'm saying is that social workers can't be trusted. They're not transparent. They lie. They deceive. There's no one controlling them. And so the only way you're going to win your case is to get an attorney. Now, we have an attorney. His name is Vincent W. Davis. And he has a law firm, Vincent W. Davis and Associates, that produces the show. And I want to give up many thanks to him. He is available for consultation by calling the number on my screen, 888-888-6582. 6582.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he'll talk to you for 30 minutes for $60.
Perfect.
The
No, that's good
thing
because
is
a lot
that
of them
the
want
strategy,
so much money that
yeah,
can
I
afford.
understand that. The strategies that he'll give you will help you, with your children. Hold on a second. I need to put the other message on my screen here. My screen is huge and I can't seem to reduce it. And that's what my problem is that also, if you look at the bottom of my screen, there is a website that you can go to. And it's the website is Candidly, CLENDLY. That's Candidly, CALENDLY, and .com, candidly.com/law office of VWD/Bob Pace. It's on the bottom of my screen. And you can see what his calendar like and schedule your appointment.
Perfect.
But
Thank you so much.
But all law cases, he has 35 years of experience. He's a trial attorney. He knows how to fight CPS. He actually has fought CPS and got children back. And he's filed civil suits, both in federal and in state court, and won civil suits, millions of dollars against CPS. So he's a fighter. And he works in any state. He comes out to Riverside. So if the chemistry is right with him and you like what he has to say, talk to him about his retainer and he would represent you. It all depends on how long your case has been going and how complex the case is. But when you do talk to him, start at the beginning. Tell him that there's 4 different fathers, that your daughter was married. She passed away, unfortunately. The instead of putting at the next of kin where they should be, or maybe volunteer custody where you could, adopt it, because you as the parent now, um, it all depends on how the other people are involved. If you said one of the fathers is dead and one of them has disappeared, so but I can't believe these grandmothers that would step in. I know they're sensitive about their grandchildren.
Right. And I went all the way to the state and fought it, and they said in 5 years, it's like, only from one little fight that I got into at the casino, they denied me. And so she said, in 5 years, if you do good, you'll get your grandchildren back. And it's been more than that. So I still haven't yet to see. And there's so much going on right now that just did more damage to the children and that adopted home. So we're fighting a case there. And we do have rural detectives involved now, so we're just trying to figure out what our next step is. So now you're giving me that opportunity, and I appreciate you so much.
Well, here's the thing is, there's a gentleman in a room called Mr. M. Christina Reynolds, a woman. She said, did your daughter go through the system anytime in Riverside? The answer is yes, of course she did. Then there's another woman who I don't know where she's from, and it's T. Jan. Can you tell me your city, your state, or country you're from? Furthermore, Christina says, I was viewed after filing for 46 minutes. The supervisor read it with me on the phone and expressed she understood over and heard that my life matters. I have a disability. I struggle to communicate effectively. My children's life matter. 2, I'm explaining that they'd be my age suffering the same way if I don't expose from the beginning. And it's something about 1983. So I guess there's a woman that had a similar case to you, and she's trying to help. My room is full of people that text and comments. I welcome all. We have a person from Sweden today. We seem to be getting a lot of country people from other countries calling in about CPS. And so I think if you get this attorney and you talk to Mr. Davis, it will set you relief. He's a kind man. He has a podcast. He will listen to you. And he works in Southern California, but he has cases out in Riverside. So he knows the court system in Riverside. He's a dependency attorney, very professional. And you can't go wrong with him. So that consultation, all you do is you call in, tell him that Bob Pace sent you, and then when you speak to Mr. Davis, say that Bob Pace sent you, okay?
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all giving me that info. That's much needed. I'm desperate. So I appreciate that. I reached out. It was God today that you answered. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad I could be of some help. Now, is there anything else I can help you with? Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, you gave me all I need, and I'm going to start from there and get. I do have some of the other grandmas that are stepping in.
Yeah. Well, you got to work with them. I mean, hopefully everybody will work together for the betterment of the children. Now,
Right.
There's another rule I have, Rule 4, which is a good one. You need to research. Everything is about Riverside CPS. You need to find out all about them. I find out that everything is different, even among states, from LA County to Orange County to Riverside, to San Bernardino, to Central California, to Bakersfield. It's all different. So what you need to do, the internet is so wealthy of information, you need to type in, CPS and Riverside and see what you come up with. You need to understand at the state level what they can do. You need to know about the 388 motion. You need to know about all the other kinds of motions that you hear about, anything you don't know about. And so with rule number 4, it's a research. thing. You need to find out all there is about CPS in Riverside and all your cases, because the more intelligent you are, the more power you're going to have, the more power you have, because the judges are corrupt, the social workers, attorneys are corrupt, the social workers are corrupt. You're going against a really one-sided place. So I'm really,
Right.
it's really a battle for you. So that's my rule number 4. And then my rule number
It has
2
been.
that I have here is put together a notebook, a 6-inch notebook with 3 rings, stuff it full of paper. And you want to have some subject tabs put in there. And one of the first ones is going to be incidents. Every incident involving CPS or revolving your case should be written in. And you start off with the date, the time, the location, the people involved. Then the next line, you write down what the incident was about. And then the next line, you write down what was the outcome. Then skip a couple lines, write the next incident. That is so important to start keeping track. Any court papers, you punch holes and put them in your notebook. Anybody that you
Yes,
have,
I got them all.
yeah, anybody that you have, um, like you put those in there. All the parenting classes, all the program classes, any drug results that you take, all that's got to be put in the notebook. So it's important to keep track of your paperwork. Post-it notes and envelopes and pads of paper are not going to help. You got to keep it all organized.
Yeah.
And never
Thank you.
really talk less and less to social workers, meaning you're not, you don't have to talk to them. They'll use what you say against you. They'll trick you. They'll make you feel so wanted. Don't sign papers. Don't admit to anything. In fact, my best rule is don't talk to social workers. It's yes, no answers. Don't talk to policemen. Don't let them in your home. Don't let them take your children. Your problem is an ongoing active case, and that's how they got your children.
Right. Yeah, the officers just said not. They usually normally when they would get in trouble, they would give them back, but they decided they stepped in because of the paraphernalia. But it was something that should have been taken for that someone is able to adopt them. I mean, there were so much family members involved, which I hear which was wrong. After my daughter died, why didn't I get her back? Because they were my only grandchildren from her. The only thing I had left.
Okay. Also, Christina is talking about constitutional rights. She's citing a case about your constitutional rights. There are people in this room that want to help you, okay? And so listen to it.
Thank you.
So, God bless you, and you will get your grandchildren back. You're going to have to be persistent at it, okay?
Yes.
All right.
Well, thank you guys all for your time and participation. I appreciate you all.
Right. Well, talk to Mr. Davis, do your consultation with him, and then give me a call back anytime. I'm on in the morning at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, in the evening at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. 7 days a week.
Perfect.
On Sunday, I come on a little bit earlier, 8 o'clock in the morning. But every other day, it's 10 o'clock. So I'm available. So I'm not going to go anywhere. So you can call me back tomorrow, the next time, or tonight. There's 14 times a week I'm on. So hopefully, if something comes up, you can say, hey, Bob, I don't understand this. Or, hey, I talked to Vincent and this or that. So don't, fret. Be calm. Keep your cool. Be really thorough describing your case. And what I tell people, it's if you watch a ping pong match, the ball goes back and forth, back and forth. Well, in the CPS, if you ask one question and there's more, then it goes back and forth. So try to start off with the beginning and be as complete as you can. But I want to thank you for calling in, and I'll be talking to you, okay?
Okay, thank you, Bob.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
God bless you. God bless you. Okay. All right, we had a caller early on, and I didn't really get a chance to talk about how to participate in this podcast. This is a live podcast, and we just had a caller. And when you are texting in comments, it's very important that you talk about CPS, with the case. Um, let's see here. Here it is. It says, when typing your comments, your CPS questions, please show your name, city, state, or country, and try to be complete with your CPS case. So that is important there. Now, some of you may not want to talk this time or call in, but you want to be as a guest on my show later on. I have a show producer. Her name is Grace, and she works really, really hard. And all you have to do is call in and um, email her, not call in, but email her and tell her what day of the week you want me to show and the time. You can say the morning show or the evening show on Monday or the morning show on Saturday or the evening show on Sunday. So, and you just email her to Grace at vincentwdavis.com. That's Grace at vincentdavis.com. And you mail into her, and she'll be able to um, help you get on the show. We use StreamYard as our application. It's done on YouTube. So now I talked about my rules. Um, they're the rules to help you with your case. I too was involved in CPS. I'm a family man, a loving father. I had 6 children. 3 of them were kidnapped or trafficking into foster care, and I had to fight them. I sold my home, hired Mr. Davis, and got uh, my children back, except for my daughter. Got back my 2 boys. I started late because I thought I could use the public defender. The public defender is worthless. They are carrying a caseload of 30 or more clients, so they don't have time for you. They won't meet you except the day of the hearing for 5 minutes. And they're not a fighter, they're not going to help you. That's why you need that rule number 1. You need to get a professional dependency attorney. And we have one. It's Vincent Davis. All you have to do is call in or schedule um, on his calendar what you want to do there. Um, let me see here. We have enough time for someone to call in. My phone number is 626 698 0990. And you can call in and talk about your case. Faye, if you're listening, are you hearing me okay, Faye? If you're listening, am I okay, Faye? Also, uh, Jonathan from Sweden, is there anything you'd like to talk about CPS in Sweden that you could share with us? How is CPS handled in Sweden? Do they kidnap children? Is it for money? How is the child protection services handled in Sweden, the system? Also, Michelle Charles from Sacramento, do you have anything you want to share with the room? I'd love to hear something in there. Christina, I appreciate all the info you're sharing with us. It was nice of you to do that. We had Teresa Crow from Riverside, grandmother, who's trying to get back her grandkids, and her daughter, unfortunately, was lost. So that was a pretty tragic thing. So I'm looking for any more comments there. T. Jan, I have no idea where you're from, but welcome. Christina has a long one here. And hi, T. Jan. And she cited a code, 42 years code 1983, civil action for deprivation of the Foundation for the Protection of Constitutional Rights. U.S. Code 93, Civil Action for Determination of Rights. Thank you for sharing that, Christina. We only have about 5 more minutes left of the show before it's 11 o'clock. I have to end it at 11. As a quick refresher, Rule 1 was get an attorney. And Mr. Davis does a consultation for 60 minutes. All you do is call in at 888-888-6582. Rule 2 is to do your paperwork. Get that notebook, 6-inch thick binder, 3-ring, and subject tabs. Rule 3 is do not talk to social workers. Don't let them in your home. Don't talk to police. Don't let them in your home. They have to have a warrant or a probable cause that there's extreme danger happening to their kids, like a domestic violence is happening, they can come into the home. Also, be careful medical trafficking. When you take your children to the hospital, heads up, they'll try to take your children, and you got to be careful about that. Also, when you have to have babies, they'll try to take your children. You may test positive for drugs in your system, or you said something wrong to the doctor. So be careful with Rule 3. Rule 4 is that you need to research the area you live in. Go to the internet, and you can spend days and hours with so much information that help out your case. You have to be really, because what may work in one state may not work in your state. It's all over the place. And there's all kinds of programs. And then for any of you Indian people out there, they have children that your families are involved with CPS. Make sure that you are aware of the ICWA. It's the law that was passed in 1978 that protects Indian children. What it does is that if you are a registered Indian of a federal recognized tribe, there's 547 recognized tribes, then if you're registered or could be registered, then your kids are placed with the tribe, and the tribe will put them in Indian families and help your reunification, get your kids back. It's a lot better because what was happening in CPS since 1875 was constantly putting kids in for adoption and not trying to reunify. It took them over 100 years, but the American Indians, our first immigrants, have really been harmed by that process. Okay, I'm reaching the close to the end of my podcast, and I want to thank you all for calling in. I want to thank Christina Reynolds. I want to thank you, T. Jan. I don't know where you're from, T. Jan. Christine Reynolds is from Riverside. Joanne Bompifis, or John, I probably pronounced you wrong, I'm sorry, but welcome from Sweden. I don't know what city in Sweden, but I'm glad to have you. And then Michelle Charles, welcome. I'm glad that you're here. Of course, Faye, I really enjoy having your shows and the comments you're coming up there and so forth. And then the person that called in, Teresa Crow, the grandmother, thank you and God bless you. And I hope you get your grandchildren and get custody. All right, well, I'll be on again tonight at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time for my podcast. God bless y'all. Keep fighting for your kids. I'll see you tonight. This is Bob Pace signing off.